Hello and welcome to episode number 24. My name is Torsten Tobel. Your body, what can it do for you? Is going to be the topic today, and I have no clue if we're actually going to stay on this topic. What bodies? You got one. Actually, all of us have one. It's something that I know for me, I've taken my body for granted for a long, long time. And I still do sometimes. And I probably still will. But that's changing. And it's changing in a way that is really cool. And really one of the neat things about your body is that it can do stuff for you. I don't know where you all went with that first. What can it do for you? Well, it can give you pleasure. Absolutely. How can it give you pleasure? Many, many different ways. It can give you pleasure through food. It can give you pleasure through sport. It can give you pleasure through sex. It can give you pleasure through all kinds of different things. And actually, that's really what your body is all about, is, how much pleasure can it be? And can it have and be pleasure all the time? Most of us don't allow that. We allow it for short periods of time, i.e. eating something really yummy and amazing. Maybe for a short period of time while you're being intimate with somebody or having sex. It could be doing something physical that can be really pleasurable, that can be a real joy. Taking your body to places that it really enjoys, maybe going to the beach or a beautiful view or whatever that may be. It's really different for everyone. But it's interesting because we don't often think that it can be pleasurable all the time. And it's really about looking at what else can I do and how much pleasure can I have with my body? How much can I contribute in everything that I do, in every moment? And that's something we don't really look at. And we also don't look at our body like how can it contribute to us, and asking it to contribute to whatever you're creating and whatever you're actualizing. Do you ever ask your body to create and actualize, or assist you and contribute to actualizing what you'd like to have created in your life and what you would like to have it be a part of what you are creating, basically? We often exclude our bodies for so many things, yet it is the thing that is quite noticeable in this reality. Like, your body's pretty, without going too crazy, it's kind of important in this reality. It's so much easier to function with a body than without in this reality. And so here we are, and you got a body. So how can you play with it? Like, what can you do? What kind of things can you do with it? What kind of limitations can you break that you've never really looked at before? And so that's something that I've been playing with. I've been playing with lots of different things, but also looking at the things that I see that I'm unwilling to do, and that's really looking because I have a point of view that I can't do it for whatever reason. And what if you could? What if you can't do it just because you believe you can't? Like, it's just that, whatever is showing up in your world, that's what is. Like, oh, I can't do that. So, well, yeah, true, absolutely. If that's your point of view, that's what you're going to create. So it's like breaking those things down and using your body as something that you can play with. And so looking at some sort of limitation you have with it, whatever that may be. It could be a physical limitation that there's something that you don't think that you can physically do. It might be a limitation as far as to do with like, also this is kind of physical, but like exercise or something like that. It could be something to do with eating, that there's something there that you don't think you can eat, or I don't know what it might be that you don't like, that you could never possibly ever eat. Or something that you think, oh my God, that's disgusting. These are just points of view. They're not actually real. We've created them, we picked them up somewhere. I don't know how or where, and that's not even interested in that. What I am interested is in like, how can I change this? What else can I choose? How can I let go of the limitation that I have? How about choosing something else? There's so many ways to go about doing that. And so one of them is actually to choose something that you have as a limitation, whatever that may be, or thing that you have resistance to in some way. Whatever, it could be some food that you don't like to eat, maybe you have something with hygiene that it's got to be certain cleanliness level, just going way beyond your comfort level. So pick something in your world that you have resistance to, that you don't think it's possible currently with the body you have, for whatever reason that is, or wherever that belief is. And then actually do something that would go against all that. That would literally just go against what you think is a limitation, or what you think is basically not possible. And then choose it. Maybe you're scared of doing something. Maybe it has to do with snakes. Maybe it has to do with heights. Maybe it has to do with like bungee jumping, or jumping out of a plane, or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's different for everyone, right? And just choosing something that goes beyond whatever you've chosen with your body, and actually using your body as the focal point for that. Eating something that you're like, I could never eat that. What if you could? What if it was just this kind of point of view, or this thing in your world where your limitation, or whatever it is, where you're like, I'm not even going to try it because I already know I won't like it, or whatever. And maybe you won't like it, but doing something that won't in the end end up killing you, realizing that it's just something that it's a story that you bought that isn't actually real. And that can change something, so you can use your body to assist with that. And it may be something that will actually change within your body too. And we have all these places, and I'm using the body as an example because we have one, and there's so many things around your body. Like, everyone has something with their body. And it's really playing with that, and it's really choosing something different, doing something different, really getting into a place that's maybe not comfortable, but that's really the beauty of it. The beauty of it is that we actually love change. If you don't like change, or if that's something you're telling yourself, it's probably a lie. It's probably not real. And what if you could just play with something completely different? And how much, by making that one choice of choosing something with your body to do something different, how much can that change your entire life? Because you're basically taking away a restriction that you had before, which then actually you start looking at all the other places that you have restrictions that might not actually be restrictions. They may just be these lies that you've been buying, and they're not actually real. So as you start addressing these things that you think are you, or think are yours, and that have been holding you back, what if that's no longer the case anymore? What if that's no longer true? And so, what if what you are in the world is something completely different? And what if whatever you are in the world is not defined in any way? What if you're the only one that's defining it? And again, bodies is a beautiful place to start. And end, but there's no start or end. It is just, your bodies are a really amazing tool that you get to play with. And they get to play with you. And so what different ways can you play with them that you've never considered before? And that's really what this conversation is about. It's a conversation about what else is possible and what other things are you capable of with your body that you never actually considered, or you never even looked at because you automatically dismissed it. And so really look at these things and see how you can play with them and see what else is possible with them, with your body. Include your body in the journey of your exploration of what else is possible in this world and what else is possible with you that you never considered. And as you start looking at these different places of what else is possible, you may start discovering that literally anything is possible. How much would that change your world? How much different could your life be if you actually chose to do one thing different with your body and you're able to see that it showed up completely different than you thought? It showed up in a way that you never expected. And it probably will give you a different perspective of some sort. And it might actually turn out exactly the way you think it should or would, because that's what you have decided. You've decided that you're going to be scared to jump out of a plane, and so you don't jump out of a plane because you know you're going to be too scared. Or you jump out of a plane and you're really, really scared, and you're like, that was frightening, I'm never doing that again. That doesn't change me any. And that's okay too. But what if you went into whatever you're choosing with some sort of curiosity of like, I wonder if this is actually real, or if it is just a lie. And you can also convince yourself that it's real, and that's cool. But most of the time it isn't. And as you start playing with these different things and have this willingness to look at what else, well, that's when your entire life changes. Maybe you don't want that much change. But if you're really, really bored, you probably do. And I know a lot of people that are actually really bored. They probably won't tell you that, but they actually are really bored. And they probably don't have a lot going on, or they've been choosing the same thing all the time. And this is something to switch it up. It's basically like you're choosing something different. Okay, food. What food would, if I can give an example, that I would absolutely not like to eat? Nothing's entirely popping right now. Okay, there is one thing popping right now. Tripe, something that I'm not really keen of, partly because that's what we fed our dog when I was younger. I know in certain parts of the world, tripe is a delicatessen. They eat it. It's something special to eat. Could I eat it? I probably could. Would I enjoy it? I don't think I would. But it's choosing something like that you're just like, okay, I'm going to see what it's like. It might actually turn out completely different. Dog loved it. Thought it was amazing. He would just chow that down every day. He's loving it. So it's this perception of something that we make up as our reality, which maybe isn't really our reality. Maybe our reality isn't what we think it is, and maybe you aren't what you think you are. Maybe you are undefinable. Maybe you're something way more and you've been trying to define yourself your entire life. And how many definitions have you made yourself to be when it may not be real? Bodies are awesome, and they can do these miraculous things. I don't know if I've shared it before with you, but my body can do some pretty amazing things. One of the things it can do, it can consume an extreme amount of chocolate, one in short periods of time, and in general, and it doesn't change much in size. It can eat a lot of ice cream too, donuts. I haven't had donuts in a while. I love donuts. I might have to go get one today. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, so it can do these things. The other thing that it can do, that my body can do, and that is just so amazing, it has these physical capacities. A couple of them is that my body can do like physical things that surprise me sometimes. Like I don't even think about it. Like it can sit around and do nothing for months, and then it can like go climb a mountain without any problem. It's really bizarre. It requires actually very little water, which is weird. I'll do these hikes or physical activity with people, and they got all this water with them, and I don't carry water most of the time, and it likes it at the end, but it's just not like it's amazing. It's like this. It's a body, but it's really a camel. Yeah, it's weird. And it's got this capacity to be a lot of space. It's really cool. And by what it is, by what it bees, it just creates space. It's really kind of fascinating. These are just some things that are really kind of amazing about the body that I have. And I'm super grateful for it. Like, I rarely get sick. I rarely am hurt. Its capacity to heal is pretty amazing. I've beat my body up quite a bit. And I realized, and the capacity it has in certain situations is outstanding. So I was, this is a couple of years ago, I was riding my bike, and I was going down this hill in the city, and there's these times where you kind of see what's going on ahead of you and you can calculate it. And I was going pretty quick down this hill, and things were good, and there was this taxi that was kind of sitting in the road, but it was fine. And then it moved, which would have been fine, but it stopped, and it stopped right in my path. And the timing of it all, it wasn't cool anymore. I'm like, okay, impact is going to happen. And so I'm going a pretty good speed, and braking, that wasn't going to really create anything. And so, I did, but the timing of this was all very quick. And in a split second, I'm like, okay, so I'm going over I'm making contact with the taxi. I made contact with the front of the taxi. And for some way, I knew that if I put out my foot on the hood of the car, I can absorb some of the impact, and I can absorb most of the impact, actually, and just roll over the hood. Now, I was going a fair speed probably at the time. I would guess I was going a good 30 plus kilometers an hour, maybe more. And so I did that. In a split second, the foot went on the hood, and I rolled off the taxi. And I, hit the pavement and kind of did a roll there too. Bike went flying, and I got up, and I was fine. There was nothing wrong with me. I literally did not even have a scratch on me. Body a little bit of shock, a little bit weird, but I was fine. There was literally nothing wrong. Even the next day. And it's amazing, like the mechanics of that, to be able to communicate that and for that to show up is pretty impressive. And that's just like one of the amazing things of what I've been able to create with my body. There's also another time when I was younger. I was pretty small at the time. I'm guessing I was like 10-ish. And we're at my dad's cabin, and I was climbing up this wood ladder to a platform. And the platform probably would have been, I don't know, it wasn't super high, but like maybe 10 feet, something like that. As a kid, it always seems higher, but it's probably a good 10 feet, maybe even 15. Like it was a decent size. It was many more of me. Anyways, I was climbing up this platform with a piece of wood. I don't have a clue what I was doing with it, but nonetheless, I was climbing up this thing with this piece of wood, and I fell off when I got to the top. And I ended up falling on this like willow bush or something like that. And I was fine. There was nothing wrong with me. I literally walked away. And it's just like when you see these things that, again, these are capacities that we have. And it's just this acknowledgement of examples of what your body's capable of, and what are you capable of? What things have you done that are just totally amazing and miraculous and total magic that you maybe haven't really acknowledged? And going back into your life and looking at what those things might be. How many different things, or if you just choose one or two or three or five or 10 situations in your life where what happened just should have never happened. There was another instance, so I'm just giving examples of different things that are kind of popping right now. Another one, I was, again, with my bike. I was riding my bike, and it was mountain biking, actually. And I was coming over this ridge. It was a single track. I was coming over this ridge, and something happened, and I was going over the front. But instead, I literally ejected, and somehow, I don't even know how I did this, but I somehow got in front of my bike, and I literally, like, instead of going end over end, I ejected and ended up like landing on my feet and running down. Like, I don't know if I straddled my bike or threw it behind me. I don't even know how I got past the handlebars. No idea. Anyways, maybe went sideways. I don't recall in this 10 seconds, but something happened. I literally just like ejected and just ran down the hill. And this is like, I didn't think anything of it, but a friend of mine that I was riding with, she's like, wow, she caught the tail end of it. And she's like, wow, you literally just like went from riding to running down the hill. And I'm like, yeah, I knew I was going over, so I bailed. And it's like, again, like just what you're capable of, what your body's capable of, and just acknowledging, like, thank you Thank you, body. Like, wow. You've done some really spectacular things. And how else can your body contribute to you? What else? Can you use it to pull things into your life? Can you use it to communicate in different ways? And what is possible that you've never considered? And I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, and we're getting close to the end of the show, but it's like, between acknowledging your body and how amazing it truly is, and I know everyone's body is, because man, they're unique, and the stuff that they can do, like some of the stuff that people can do with their body is literally out of this world. It's beyond. It's crazy. I was watching a video today actually of this guy. He was like the contortions, all the different things he could do, the way he could bend his body was like unbelievable. And for him, that's not a limitation. That's not that limitation doesn't show up. And so it's really interesting playing with that and looking at that and seeing, okay, and what else can I choose with my body? What limitations have I put on it that aren't actually real? And how can it contribute and assist with getting me out of my limitations? And what can I choose that I think is a limitation that really isn't? And see what shows up. And see what shows up in your life, and see if that changes your life and changes something in your world. And maybe you'll choose to do something that is not boring. And you'll choose something else, like just something. It's amazing what that can create. And there's been so much going on in my world, changing, and continues to change, and it's so exciting. And realizing that my body's part of that play, and it's an inclusion of what I'm creating. Yeah, thank your body for showing up. Thank you for showing up. Try something different. See what happens. Let me know of any miraculous things that show up in your body, miraculous things that you are with your body, miraculous things that have shifted with trying something different. Let me know, because I'm super interested. I really find it fascinating what you can discover about yourself that you never realized, and all the amazing things that you're starting to acknowledge about your body that you haven't before. And really ask, are all these stories that I tell myself, are they actually real? Or can they be changed entirely? And one quick thing before we go, I'm just in this house, it's been a month and a half. Chose this house, had good energy. I've just discovered in the last 2 weeks-ish this beautiful beach, 5-minute walk from the house that I didn't even know existed. A beautiful park that I just checked out. It's all so close, and I realized that what a contribution my body was to choosing this location, how much it enjoys it for those types of things that are literally 5 minutes walking distance from my house, and that I get to go play with and go discover and hang out with. That's really amazing. It's almost like I get to go on vacation by walking 5 minutes. It's unbelievable. And how much my body enjoys it, and what a contribution that is when I do choose that, and when I go there and hang out. So how else can you sort of, kind of in closing, what contribution can you be as well? So play with those things. Play with something that is totally uncomfortable and you think is impossible. Acknowledge some miraculous, amazing, magical things your body has done already. And two, ask it what contribution you can be to it and where you can take it or where it wants to go that would be contribution to it and most likely to you too. So those are 3 things you can play with. And really, play with it. Discover. And try new things because, man, that keeps things interesting. And most people like to have an interesting life. It usually means it's not boring. So with that, thank you so much for joining. We'll do this again next week. Come play next week and we will see what comes up and let me know of any things that show up in your life. Anything to do with bodies, limitations, magic, and contributions. Till next week. Bye.